The logistical support of armies has been a critical factor in the success or failure of military campaigns throughout history. Efficient supply chains and resource management often determine the outcomes of battles and wars, shaping the course of nations and empires. From ancient times, military logistics focused primarily on the basics: food, water, and weaponry. Ancient armies, such as those of the Roman Empire, developed sophisticated methods to supply their troops. They constructed roads that not only facilitated rapid movement but also enabled consistent resupply routes. Roman legionaries carried personal rations for short campaigns, but for prolonged engagements, supply chains involving grain shipments from across the empire were essential. These operations were supported by an extensive network of forts and depots. As warfare evolved during the medieval period, so did logistical strategies. Armies became more reliant on local foraging and requisitioning supplies from conquered territories or allied regions. This practice often placed a heavy burden on civilian populations. In feudal Europe, logistical support was less organized than in the Roman times due to the decentralized nature of power. Knights and soldiers were often expected to provide their own equipment and provisions, which could lead to inconsistencies in armament and supply. The advent of gunpowder in the 15th century began to change the nature of both warfare and military logistics. Armies needed regular supplies of gunpowder, bullets, and cannons, in addition to traditional resources like food and fodder. This necessitated more centralized systems of supply chain management during campaigns. The Ottoman Empire exemplified advanced logistical planning during this period with its rigorous use of supply depots and specialized troops responsible for logistics. In the 17th century, as European powers expanded overseas, supplying armies across vast distances became even more complex. Naval power played an increasingly crucial role in transporting troops and supplies. The British Empire, with its global reach, developed an extensive naval logistics system that allowed it to project power across continents effectively. The Napoleonic Wars at the turn of the 19th century highlighted new dimensions in military logistics. Napoleon Bonaparte's use of the corps system allowed for a divisional approach where each unit was responsible for its own provisioning through controlled requisitioning from local areas. However, this system showed its limitations during the disastrous Russian campaign of 1812, when logistical failures contributed significantly to French defeat. The American Civil War saw further innovations in logistics with extensive use of railroads to move large quantities of troops and supplies rapidly over great distances. This use of railroads marked a significant shift towards modern logistics systems involving multiple transportation modes including rail, road, and sea. World War I tested these systems under conditions of total war where massive armies were continuously supplied at fronts that stretched for hundreds of miles. The complexity increased exponentially with the need to manage not just food and munitions but also clothing, medical supplies, and equipment maintenance under relentless enemy fire. World War II further advanced these concepts with even larger-scale operations spanning multiple continents. Logistics planning became more scientific with extensive use of statistics and operational research to optimize supply routes and storage. The Allied forces' successful D-Day invasion was underpinned by an enormous buildup called Operation Overlord, which involved meticulous planning of material buildup months in advance. Post-World War II period saw continued evolution with military logistics becoming a specialized field within armed forces, involving detailed analysis and forecasting techniques aided by computer technologies starting in the late 20th century. Today's military operations continue to rely on principles established through centuries of logistic strategies, albeit enhanced by advanced technology like real-time data sharing and automated supply chains, which ensure that modern armies are among the most logistically supported entities in history. In summing up historical significance without moralizing or linking past events directly to modern-day self-improvement, military logistics has always been as crucial as any combat strategy in determining victory or defeat in war. Its evolution from ancient supply lines drawn by sheer manpower to sophisticated networks orchestrated via digital technologies underscores its critical role in supporting military endeavors effectively across various epochs in history.